All right, guys, this is a review for the quiz 879193. Now, these are quadratic functions. We haven't learned the quadratic equation yet, so this is another way of solving this. So you're going to be doing, you're solving this, which means you're factoring it. Okay, so first thing we got to figure out is how to split this minus 14n into two different n's. Okay, now this minus sign means that the signs are different in the center. So one of them is a plus sign and one of them is a minus sign. So plus something n minus something n. Okay, the minus a is just going to come down, and the 4n squared is also just coming down. So 4n squared. Now, we're going to multiply 4 times 8, which gives us 32. We are looking for two numbers that when they multiply make 32, but when you subtract them make 14. And the largest one has to be in the minus sign over here. So for 14, it's going to be 16 and 2. Okay, the biggest number goes with the minus sign, and that's it so far. So now we just have to factor the front part and factor the back part. So this is minus 16n minus 8, and that's 4n squared plus 2n. The minus sign stays with the 16. So both of these are divisible by 2 and n. That leaves me with 2n plus 1. This one, what's divisible into all of these, is going to be 8. So this is going to be negative 8, actually. Negative 8. That's going to leave me with a positive 2n and a positive 1. The centers are both exactly the same, so that means I did it correctly. So the answer to this is this, you write first, in a parentheses, 2n minus 8, and the other one is the stuff in the parentheses, which is 2n plus 1. And you're done. That's the answer. That is that factored. If you multiply this, you'll get the exact same answer you have up there. Now let's do this one. Same thing. We're splitting up this 14x into two different things. Okay? They're both the same sign, and the biggest one is positive, which means they're both positive. So plus and plus something x. The plus 3 comes down, and the 8x squared comes down. Now we're looking for what goes here and what goes here. So 8 times 3 is 24. So two numbers that multiply together to make 24, and when they add, they make 14. So 12 and 2, so I'll put 12 here and 2 here. If you would put 2 here and 12 here, you would have gotten the same answer you're about to get. So don't freak out about anything. So what are both of these divisible by? 4, that's correct. 4 and x. So if I divide this number and that number by 4x, I'm going to get 2x plus 3. Then I can't remove anything because it's already 2x plus 1. So outside is just going to be, I'm just taking out a 1. So if I divide everything by 1, nothing changes. So there we go. And then I write 4x plus 1 and 2x plus 3. Questions 1 through 4 are going to look like this. All right? Pretty simple. Now, we're going to be graphing. Now, I want you to know that this is the vertex. The y-intercept is here. Okay? Again, the top of it or the bottom of it is the vertex. And the line that cuts the shape in half is the axis of symmetry. Okay? Now, we're going to look for everything in order here. So if I want to graph this correctly, okay, we need to find the axis of symmetry. Then we have to find the vertex. Then we have to find the y-intercept. And then we'll be able to graph it correctly. They're in alphabetical order. in the order that you find them. So that should not be an issue in any way. So first thing we have to do is find negative b over 2a. So negative b means, let me see here. B is missing, so it's going to be negative 0 over 2a is negative 4. 0 divided by negative 4 equals 0. So that's the axis of symmetry. Okay? Now, we have to put this x into the equation to find the vertex. Okay, so we already know the x of the vertex. We need to know the y of the vertex. So it's 1 point, because the vertex is one specific point. So if I put 0 in this equation, 0 squared times negative 2 plus 1 is just going to be 1. Now the y-intercept is also the c. So this is going to be also 0, 1. All right, so if you're graphing this, so far, all you know is 0, 1, because it repeated twice. So if that occurs, you have to put another number into this equation. So I'm going to put 1 in this equation. 1 squared equals 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, plus 1 is negative 1. So at 1, it's at negative 1. That's another point. Again, this is our axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry was 0. So anything that happens on the opposite of this line here repeats on the opposite side. So if there's a dot there, that means I know automatically that there's a dot there. All right, and here is my graphed shape. All right, so only this one do you have to put in another number to answer it, to graph it. You have to put another point to graph it because they gave you the same point twice. That will not occur in any of the other ones. So here's another example. Now here we'll go over A, B, C because I don't think I covered it over there. A is this one. So what number is in front of the x? Oh, well, no number, so that means a 1. So 1. In that one, it's completely missing the second one. So that's why B is 0. So in this one, B is, so A equals 1, B equals 4, and C equals 3. Now we're looking for the axis of symmetry, which is, axis is negative B over 2A. So negative B is 4, so negative 4, and 2A, 2 of these is just going to be 2, so the answer is negative 2. So the axis of symmetry is on negative 2. So on the graph, wherever x equals negative 2, so that's 1, that's over here, 1, 2. This is our axis of symmetry. So whatever happens on the right of this line repeats itself on the left. Whatever happens on the left repeats itself on the right. So we know that the axis of symmetry, the vertex is somewhere on this line. I just don't know where. So we are going to plug the vertex in, so negative 2, and we're going to figure out our y by plugging in it. So negative 2 times negative 2 is 4, plus 4 times negative 2 is negative 8, plus 3. So that's going to make negative 4 plus 3 equals negative 1. There's our vertex. So we go over here, negative 2, negative 1. That is our lowest or highest point. We'll find out right now from our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is always C, which is 3 in this scenario. So 0, 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that's our y-intercept. Now, this dot happened on the right of this line, which means it repeats over here. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. And that is our graph. All right? You see how the axis of symmetry is cutting it in half? That's exactly what needs to be happening. Okay, so we know now that this dot is the minimum because it's all the way at the bottom. All right, so the vertex helps us find the minimum or the maximum dependent. All right, now for this one, you're just telling me what's going to happen to the graph. Now, none of the shapes are graphed. These are just visuals, okay? None of them are actually graphed. You're just going to tell me what is happening to the original. Now, this is what the original shape looks like. X squared, y equals x squared is just a parabola. Now, what you're going to be doing is telling me what's occurring to it. Okay? So I'm going to take out a different pen if I have a different pen. There we go. So, x squared minus 2, okay, meaning the minus 2 is after the squared symbol, means that it's going to shift down 2. So, 1, 2. The entire thing is going to shift down 2, so it looks like this, the new one. Okay, so same width, same everything. The parabola just moved down 2 when you subtract x squared by 2, because all of the answers are being reduced by 2 numbers. And y is the answer. Now here, you see how I'm adding 5 inside of the parentheses. Now, I want you to notice here that I went down 2 because I subtracted 2. If I would have added 2, I would have gone up from the original position. Here, plus 5 inside the parentheses does the opposite of what you think. You think it's going to make you go to the right, but in actuality, x plus 5 inside of the parentheses would make you go to the left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the vertex point now. So now you just would have it here. So here you would write it's going to go down 2. Here you would say it's going to go to the left 5. Here, when you multiply the parabola by 2, it actually goes up quicker. So it becomes much more narrow. So it becomes something like this. Okay? Now, if you multiply it by a number smaller than 1, then it's going to get wider because it's going up much slower. So it would be much wider. Okay, so the answer for this one would be it would go up faster and narrow the graph. Here, I did multiple things, and you have to tell me everything that's going on. So you take one step at a time. You know that this is going to make you go to the right 1. Okay? You know that this one's going to make you go up 2. And you know that this one's going to make it much wider than it already is. So, and that's it. You'd be writing all this stuff. You're not going to have to graph. No graphing. No graphing. I'm just giving you visuals of what's occurring. Here you would write, it's going to go to the right 1, it's going to go up 2, and it's going to become much wider because it's being multiplied by a half. And that's what the test looks like. Good luck.